Today I thought I'd do an acrylic painting of these 4 street musicians that I saw in Exeter a few months ago. And I'm also going to try and create this painting with the minimum number of brush strokes. We'll see how that goes, but it's just kind of an idea I wanted to explore a little bit. But for now, we're going to start out with our A2 mixed media paper. I've got my peacock blue watercolor marker pen. It might be Kingfisher blue, actually, Kingfisher blue. And let's begin with a fairly loose drawing of these 4 guys and their instruments. So I'm going to start with the chap on the right of the quartet. So there's his head. And the big horn is coming up there on the right. Now he's partly obscured in this photo by the head of that lady who's walking by. And I quite like that, actually. I may incorporate that into the finished painting, you know, because they are out on the street, they are in the middle of a city, and that's kind of the reality of the situation that they're performing in. So we'll perhaps put those pedestrians in just a moment. We'll see how we go. So that's pretty much all I can see of him at the moment. Let's move on to the next guy on the banjo. So his head's actually tipped more over to the left than I've first drawn it. So we've got his legs coming down there. And a foot there. So he's more or less in place, and obviously I haven't gone into detail on the instruments or anything like that just yet. Now the guy to our left of this chap, his face is partially obscured by the trumpet of the chap on the far left. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep. I quite like the idea of showing his face, so I'll perhaps move him over here a bit. But I like the fact he's looking across, although if I draw him there, he's going to kind of get in the way of this guy's banjo arm. So let's move his head over here a bit more. Foot down there. Now, let me just mention a point about foreshortening. So if we go back to, say, this chap here, it's not that clear in my drawing, but there's his shoulder, there's his upper arm, there's his elbow. And then in terms of putting in his foreshortened forearm at this point, I've really just ignored it and put the hand in. And that's a good way to approach things, I think. I've kind of done something similar here. Here's the upper arm, elbow, put the hand in, ignore the rest for the moment. It's a good way to, I think, to get the initial placement on the paper without kind of over committing yourself to a situation you might struggle to get out of later. Okay, so I think we'll then put the end of the trumpet there. So that way there's still the interaction between this guy and the guy on the far left, but this chap's face won't be hidden anymore. So there's this guy's hand, and head. Bit of a hat. Collar coming in there. So there's his hand. We sight the position of the elbow, which is basically below that ear. And there's his shoulder. And really for now, that's all I need to say. And then obviously his other hand is up there on the trumpet somewhere. So I will draw in a bit of a forearm this time. His other elbow's a little bit lower. Indicate some feet. So we've started to place these 4 chaps playing away on the instruments. So I think I am. Let me just have a look at this now. I think it will be quite nice if I just put in an outline of the people in the foreground, and then what I'll do is I'll indicate the background lightly as well. The foreground people will be more or less in silhouette, and then I'll paint these 4 figures up to pretty much a finished painting. Okay, well, I've switched to my chunky burnt umber acrylic marker now. So these lines are going to be rather bolder than the other ones. And so, I'm not looking to paint this lady's portrait, but we just want to make our lines look like a realistic figure. And then she's holding the hand of the guy she's with. He's got a watch strap on that I just put in there. So that's often worth including, because it helps to just subtly create a sense of 3D. I don't really even need to, draw him in completely. I quite like the fact he's sort of disappearing off the edge of the frame. And then we'll put this other lady in, who's there, a little bit off in the background, but I'll give her a little bit more of a ponytail.